All right, so we've got leg day today. Now we're going to be doing a combination of dumbbells and resistance bands. And I think one of the big concerns or even maybe misconceptions about training with dumbbells and bands for legs is, can you create enough resistance in order to effectively build muscle? Most people have the idea that you have to stack a bunch of weight on your shoulders, doing squats or doing heavy deadlifts, or same thing with leg press in order to build muscle mass, and that's not true. So what we're going to be working off of today is one of the other principles for building muscle or hypertrophy, which is metabolic stress. So really just boil that down to the pump. So this is going to be more pump training. So we have three primary triggers for muscle growth. One is going to be mechanical tension. So that is the heavy weight, right? So that is one way to build muscle. The other is going to be muscle damage, that kind of micro trauma, let's call it, to the muscle. That's a trigger for muscle growth. But then the other is metabolic stress. So the buildup of metabolites in the muscle, that blood trapped into the muscle, what we call the pump, that too is a trigger. So buckle up for this workout. It's hard in a different way, right? Heavy weight is hard, actually moving that weight. This is tough in a different way because one of the things associated with that buildup of metabolites is also the change in pH in the muscle, which is going to be that burn. So higher reps here, higher volume, and it's definitely uncomfortable in its own way. So with that said, enough talk. I'm going to dive right into this shit. Fucking get it done. So we don't need to go heavy. We want to go heavy enough, obviously, to challenge ourselves here. How does that feel? That feels pretty good. So this is not training light, but they are lighter weights. We're just making up for it with higher volume. So I did these the other day. I liked them. This is basically, we're doing a squat, kind of. Some people say, well, you're doing a deadlift because we don't have the weight up here. It doesn't matter where the weight is. It's more of your body mechanics. So holding the dumbbells at our side, feet a little wider than shoulder width, we are going to drop that butt back, keeping our posture, so chest out, chin up, drop that butt back, and we're going to drive straight back up. So the only thing we're going to do here is add the band to the dumbbells. Stepping on it, both feet. Again, get that stance there. Loop the hand through. And then when you grab the dumbbell, it locks it into place. That way we don't have to hold on to the band. All right. So we're going to do at least 20 reps here, hopefully. A nice controlled rep speed. That's the other way we're making this more challenging. Increase the time under tension. And we should get a good pump out of these. That's 4. Don't forget to breathe. That's 8. 9. 10, halfway. It's gonna suck. Let's go. It's 12. 13. 14. Shit. 15. Don't rush them. 16. Keep that tempo. 17. 18. 19. Like I said, that's hard in a different way. Personally, I'd rather go super heavy for 10 reps. To me, that's a lot easier. Oh. My music's been stuck. One song here. I don't know what's going on. Oh man. You should feel a little winded from that if you're doing it right. Ooh. It's good stuff. Our resistance right there was perfect. Perfectly miserable. I'm just gonna squeeze behind you. Grab a belt. Not because it's super heavy weight, because I do have issues with my low back, but it's also another reason to use belts. So one of the breathing techniques that you do in a squat to stabilize your core, it's called the Valsalva maneuver. And essentially, you're breathing in through your diaphragm and then you're pushing out to help stabilize everything. One of the things that you have to be careful of, if you're someone who has maybe a natural hernia, abdominal hernia, which I've had ever since birth, teeny tiny, like if I stick my finger in my belly button, I can feel like the little edge of it. Last thing that I want, blow that out. So when you're doing that breathing technique, creates a lot of intra-abdominal pressure and it can exacerbate a hernia. So by having a belt, you're literally pressing your abdomen into the belt, and the belt kind of helps keep everything stabilized and secure. So there's a completely separate benefit to training with belts. Because who wants to be super ripped and in great shape but then have some big nasty abdominal hernia? They look pretty fucked up. But the key to a belt really working for you, that stability, isn't in the belt itself, that it's naturally just somehow stabilizing your back. It's going to come down to that breathing. Let's suck ourselves up here. That's 5, quarter of the way there. 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 10. It's already hard. Let's grind through it. 11, Come on. 12. 13. Oh. It's 14. It's 15. Let me shake it off. I got 5 more. We're going to go right back to it. We're going to do it without the band. It's a little bit of a drop set. Shake off that lightheaded feeling. That's why some people don't like leg day. It's 2, 3. Oh man, you don't need heavy weight to make leg day hard. It's making me feel out of shape. Should be really stretching out between these. A little light hamstring stretch. That sucked. We still got one more. So, I'm gonna start them off with the bands, see how far I can go. And I'll do the same thing, drop the band, shake it off, slap myself in the face, and finish it off until we get to 20. You're ready. Like I said, heavy weight. You in there, you grind out, 8, 10 reps when it's super heavy. It is hard, like I said, in a different way. That's exertion. Just as, fighting that resistance. So that's a different type of exertion. This is fighting past that discomfort, that burn. And the fatigue. Not to mention, it's kind of like HIIT training. You cross a threshold where your muscles aren't getting enough oxygen. Just like he does in HIIT training. And when you do that, it gets miserable. Ooh. It's that anaerobic threshold. All right. That's why when I see people doing interval style training and they're like, yeah, I'm doing HIIT, but they're not dying. I'm like, no, you're not doing HIIT. You're just doing what you said. You're doing interval training. HIIT truly is high intensity. And Those rounds of high intensity are fucking miserable. That's when you know you're doing it right. Most people need a coach to truly push them to do real HIIT, because most sane people don't like feeling that way. It's only 7. 8. Take all your frustrations for the whole fucking day. Channel it right here. 10. Let's drop the band. Got 10 more. Let's do this shit. You gotta be an animal about this stuff. There's no scientific research or scientific method for building muscle that's gonna circumvent this. Just gotta have some fucking grit, man. Just do it. Five more. 6. 7. 8. 9. One more. Home stretch. Fucking sucks in a good way. It's okay to hate it. It's got to be a love-hate though. Gotta stretch out my low back. Part of that is stretching out glutes and hamstrings too. Yep. Gnarly. All right, that's it for that exercise. If that didn't drive some blood in to those legs, then I don't know what will. Alrighty. Weight belt's also a good gauge when you put on a few lbs in the middle. I had to punch a couple extra holes in here at one point. Now it's just a little too tight. Ooh-wee. Trying to think what I want to do next. You know, my go-to usually is that split squat with a band, and I really do love that exercise, but we've been doing that a lot lately. So I'm just trying to think of some different things, give you guys some variety. Try different things out, see what you like best. Can do a split squat with the front leg elevated. We've done it with our back leg elevated, like in a Bulgarian. But I don't think I want to do that. I'm going to stick to a split squat, but instead of the band, we'll do it with the dumbbells. So if you were here in last week's workout, I want to say we did a combination. We did some of our split squats more over the front toe, making this a little more quad focused, pressing through the toe. And then we did some with a little bit wider stance, pushing backwards, pushing through the heel, a little more focus on the hamstring and glutes. Here we're just going to take more of a neutral position. We're going to press straight up and down, almost like an elevator. Our stance is somewhere in the middle, not too narrow, not too wide. Let me try some lighter dumbbells though. Now, I do like to freestyle my workouts, but even then, usually I have a really good game plan before I ever hit the gym. Even if it's my home gym, I already know what I want to do to avoid the moments like we're experiencing right now, the kind of indecision. You end up wasting a lot of time. It can be a momentum killer. So normally I like to be better prepared. So this is being unprepared. I was kind of distracted by a lot of stuff, got caught up in work things, which is an easy trap to fall into. And then pretty soon, you almost want to tell yourself, I'll work out later. I'll do it tonight, or whatever the case is, or I'll do it tomorrow. And sometimes you just got to say, fuck it, put your shit aside and get in there and get it done, which is what I'm doing. So here we are. All right, chest up, chin up, and we're going to drop straight down. See about 90 degrees at the knee at the bottom and about 90 degrees at the hip. And even doing these this way, to me, it is still more glute hamstring focused as opposed to quad. That's 8. 9. Let's just see how far we can go. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. One more. That was it. Shake it off for a second. Catch my breath. Shake off that miserable feeling in my back. We're going to do the other side. You know, when you have a rough day, a leg workout, it's almost like a purification process. So I say you just got to channel all that energy. Think about it. Stress really is energy. Frustration, that's energy. All those emotions are energy. And you can either let them drain you or you can let them fuel you. It's just all about how you harness it. All right. Here we go. Oh, stiff. Try to do most of the driving with that front foot, not the back. Back is more to stabilize. It's almost like a rudder. It's 9. 10. Fuck. 11. 12. 13. Fuck. 14. One more. Fuck. You know, one of the reasons I chose to do videos like this, uncut, unedited, just so you see what it really looks like. It's easy to make a workout look fucking awesome when you cut out all the dead parts. It's like what people do with social media. They cut out all the pauses, all the ums, all the uhs, and all of a sudden it's just like, looks like this polished little perfect speech. But no one speaks that way, and no one fucking trains that way. You have your moments like this where you fucking lay on the ground and just try to gather yourself again for the next set. That's just the reality sometimes. Maybe it's not the most exciting to watch, just boring moments where I'm sitting here stretching and not saying anything, but that's a real workout. And if we were training together, it's the way it would look. We live in this fake ass fucking world where everyone edits everything, polishes everything, filters fucking everything. So I would just rather have something that's real. This is fucking as real as it gets. Everyone always wants to share all the highs. No one wants to show the lows. All right. I'm going to do a second set with the bands. Made a spaghetti mess of that. All right. By the way, I did want to mention, someone asked me about this. They asked if they wrap the band around, if you could kind of anchor it like this, and the answer is, yeah, you can. Challenge becomes, just taking the time to do it, and you can try taking out some of the slack like that. Maybe if that's a stronger position for you with your grip. Here, come to the front, directly front, so you can see leg position. Then my stance is still relatively wide, and that's what's giving me the balance left to right. You don't want your stance too narrow. Fuck. One more. Shit. Shake it off. We're gonna go right to the other side now. My wife said something to me that was pretty interesting. She trains crazy hard. I mean, legitimately. She's an animal with her workouts. But she'll tell you that when it comes to nutrition, sometimes she just has those weaknesses, whether it's a bag of Twizzlers or whatever it is. And when we do that, when we have those moments of weakness, whether we realize or not, we have a tendency to punish ourselves. So a healthy way to channel that is you come into the gym and you punish yourself there. And that's what she said to me. She's like, if I slip up, I'm not going to get down on myself. I'm just going to go into the gym the next day, and that's my punishment. I'm going to train extra hard. So I think it's just part of human nature. Think about all the shit that we say to ourselves. Sometimes if you really listen to that inner dialogue, you would say, man, if that was another person, if that was a friend who was saying all this stuff to me, all these negative things or all the doubt, undermining ideas, you would say, that's a terrible friend. I don't want to be friends with him. The problem is we're stuck with ourselves. We have to learn how to combat that. It's like those old cartoons where you had the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other. Those are the different voices we have in our head. One telling you that you can do it, rooting you on like your cheerleader, and the other one telling you that you're a piece of shit and there's no way that you can succeed. Oh, man. There we go. Five more. Fuck. 13. 14. 15. Talk about those voices in your head. You start to hear them in the middle of your set. That one on your left shoulder is telling you, you're done. You're tired. You can't do anymore. It's okay, just quit. That's good enough. And that's where I'll channel all that frustration. It's like, no, fuck you. I'm not gonna quit. And that's that sense of victory that you can get in a really tough set. Overcoming that. You're not proving anything to anybody else. Just yourself. Shit, man, we got one more set of these. I actually think the band set was harder. Easier on my back, but harder overall. At the very end of this workout, show you some different isolation exercises you can do for hamstrings and quads using bands. The ones I don't think I've ever showed before. I'm always messing around trying different ways. So one way works pretty well. Stick to the end of the workout with me. Oh, man. I'm going to try something a little different here. I think we've done something like this. I think we did it with our Bulgarian split squats, but instead of putting the band under our foot, we can also put our lead foot in the band, and then we can come over the shoulder. Gives your grip a little bit of a break, so let's try it for fun. Not promising anything. Let's see how it feels. Not bad. A little less resistance at the bottom, but a nice squeeze at the top. We'll make up for it with maybe a few extra reps. Eight, 9, 10, I take that back. 11, 12, 13, 14, one more. Well, that snuck up on me. You know, you hear people say it a lot. Their workout is their stress relief. Just going and getting a workout, at least you're expending some energy and maybe it's a mental escape. But for me, the real benefit is going all out. It's almost, if you feel like your day is a pressure cooker, you're just building up all that pressure. It's got to go somewhere. You know, it's too easy to let that manifest itself in really unproductive ways, whether that's in business, people you work with, that's not good for business, or coming home at the end of the day and manifest itself in your relationship with your family. That's not good for family relationships. So you have to find some way to channel that energy. And as far as I've ever found in my lifetime, this is one of the healthiest ways I can do that. Or it's not just healthy. I don't mean physically healthy. I mean mentally healthy. It's one thing to release energy. I could go take a sledgehammer and start beating the shit out of stuff, but that's not really productive. So how do you release the energy and channel it into something productive? Although smashing some shit with a sledgehammer would feel pretty fucking good every once in a while. Have you seen some of those rooms where they set up a room and people go in there, just smash everything? All right, here we go. I could just collapse. Here we go. Four, 5, that's a third of the way. 7, 8, 9. That's 2/3 of the way. We got 5 more. These are the ones that count. Don't sell yourself short.
So I say this all the time lately, saying it more than I should have to. I was going to sit down, but I'm not. Might not get back up. It's important to try to work on technique. And that happens over time. It evolves and you get better and try different things, listen to different people, put it to the test, find out what works for you. But it doesn't matter how technical you are if you're not putting this kind of fucking effort into it. Otherwise, it's a waste. So someone could come in here, maybe nitpick my form. I don't give a fuck. What's important is coming in and working hard. And then you do that and try not to hurt yourself in the process. And at the most basic level, that's the key to getting results. That's your meat and potatoes. If you're making a cake, that's your fucking cake. The other stuff is just the sprinkles on top. Maybe a candle. Wow, that sucked. Probably not being a very good cheerleader for you right now. Wow, if it sucks so bad, why would I want to do that? It's like telling someone something smells like shit, then asking them to smell it. Oh. All right, I'm going to stretch out my low back real quick. Actually, hamstrings first. Good stuff. All right, I'm going to grab a heel wedge. If you don't have one, no big deal. Grab a 45-pound plate. Whatever you want to elevate your heels with. And just to prove a point, we're not going to use any weight. No dumbbells, no bands. But what we're going to do is we're going to stick to that hardest part of the range of motion, which is down low. That's where we're the weakest. So we're the strongest from here to here. So some people only do partial squats, so load up the bar, but they're afraid to go past here because they know it's a different ball game there. We are the weakest from here to here. So we're going to stick to that bottom half of the range of motion where we're not as strong. We're also keeping constant tension. And then we're going to add in some reps. And it's going to fucking suck. And I mean that in a really good way. You know, if I say it fucking sucks, that means it's good. I want you to also do one more thing for me. Condition myself to do this. Better technique with your squat, like I said, is be more disciplined with your posture. Chest out, keeping that chin up so we're not looking down. We're not rounding our back. We're not getting a lot of movement here in the hip, trying to do extensions in our spine. We don't want to do that. So here's a really good indicator. Put your arms out straight in front of you and keep them there the whole time as you squat. Everything should be lined up from your eye through your hands to whatever that point is on the wall. If you find yourself doing this, it's an easy catch with your own body posture because sometimes we don't notice where our shoulders are pointing, where our chest is pointing. So we drop down here to the bottom. Nice and controlled. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1. That's 2. 1, 2, 1, 3. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Your quad should be burning. Ah. Let's do 2 more. Oh, those will burn like any set of leg extensions. So 1, elevated our heels. That brings our knees a little further forward over our toes. We get more range of motion at the knee, slightly less at the hip. That makes a quad focus. Like I said, we're sticking to the bottom range of motion where we're weaker. 2, constant tension. We don't get to rest at the top or the bottom. And 3, controlled rep speed, so that time under tension. So 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals, that fucking sucks. But the point being, you don't need to use a ton of weight to make these muscles work hard and to make them grow. Just requires some focus, some discipline, some grit. Because you're going to have to push past that point where you feel uncomfortable. And then push past that next level of discomfort. And the next level of discomfort comes in waves. Keep pushing past it. Make it that internal battle. As they say, you versus you, right? Well, that's what they mean. If you really want to make these hard, you could add the bands to it, but we don't need to. Here we go. Oh man. They're on fire. 5 more. Push past that burn. Come on. 2 more. 1 more. Like I said, I'll take those 10 heavy reps all day long over this shit. Not because it works better, because I think it's easier. But one more set of these. And that'll be it. Other than some, I think we have abs today. That'd be good. We get to lay on the ground. Trust me, you'll be happy. Happy to lay on the ground after this. And if you think this looks easy, welcome you to try it. Everything looks easy, looking from the outside, looking in. Especially life. It's easy to look at a successful business person, driving the nice car, nice house, nice clothes. Looks easy. It's because you didn't feel the struggle, feel the stress, feel the doubt, the fear, the uncertainty. In other words, discomfort. Oh, my legs are shaky. This is when you hope you don't have to walk up any stairs. In college, you used to have to go to a second story apartment. You really rely on those handrails after leg day. Come on. All right, let's do this shit. If I fall on the ground, don't laugh. Although I'm sure it'll look funny. Oh. Just look at all that movement at the knee. Squats. Very little at the hip. That means very little hamstrings, glutes. That's 10. Come on, James. 11. Come on. 12. 13. 14. 15. Give the thumbs up. Say you're all right. That was tough. Now the fun part. Let's go to the ground. We're going to do a different ab exercise. As we progress here, continue to try to bring in some new stuff for you. Keep it fun. Remember, you don't have to do all these variations. You don't have to change up your workout from workout to workout. Matter of fact, I've known some very successful athletes and bodybuilders do the same routine, same exercises, same split, same rep ranges throughout their entire career and kept getting good results. It's less about sometimes the science or the mechanics, and it's about here, and it's about here. Go in and train with some heart. All right, let's grab one of the lighter bands. Let's wrap it around our back like we would in a wraparound chest press. And what we're going to do, instead of just crunching straight up, we're going to go opposite hand over opposite knee, but we're going to go ahead and extend almost like with a punch. Oh my God, even keeping my legs up like that is hard. I was making my quads burn. Holy moly. I'm going to be sore tomorrow. All right, so just like this. Extend, nice reach, but get that pause. Ah. Oh, my quads, my goodness. That's when you know it's a good quad workout. When they hurt just doing abs. Come on. One more. Let's take advantage of our time on the ground and stretch out. Especially after leg day. That's just no exaggeration right there. Anyone who really knows me knows that I don't oversell things. I do my best to downplay everything, so if I tell you I'm fucking spent, that means it's times 2. All right, let's go back to that crunch. Side note, see how sweaty and gross these bands are? So that sweat has salt in it. You definitely want to always wipe your bands down, not with any kind of chemicals, just a really damp cloth, and then hang them somewhere where they can air out and dry. They're an organic material. It's natural latex. So organic materials are susceptible to things like mold, and that will weaken your band. The salt in our sweat will weaken the band. You know, the moisture content in bands are really important. Can't be too moist, they mold. Get too dry, they crack. Think about the effect that salt has on things. Especially the moisture content of things. Why do you think they use salt to cure meat? That's why there's so much sodium in jerky. Ah! Fuck. As tempting as to lay here. Let's get that stretch on. We'll have one more set of these. All right, I'm going to go right back into it. I want to get this done. I'm very ready to be finished with this workout. We are not friends anymore. Not you. Me and the workout. No, it's keeping constant tension at the bottom. I'm not resting down here. No matter how good it feels. Let me do one more each side. All right, I'm going to stretch out quads if I can actually kick my foot up here. Wow. So that is a wrap for leg day. Whew. So I will see you back here tomorrow, and we're going to tackle shoulders.